Welcome to this quick demonstration of using percentages in formulas in FormMaker. And start off by just having a look at this test form that I set up. And here we've got three fields: the invoice amount, discount percentage, and discount amount. And what we want to do is calculate the discount amount based on the invoice amount and the percentage, discount percentage. So that's our form. So first of all, I have to tag the fields to be included in the formula, which are these two fields at the top, invoice amount and discount percentage, and then I'll put the formula into the discount amount field. So let's mark these to start with the tag, and we can use any tag we like, which is any value we like, and in this case I'll just use x1. And discount percentage is being used in the same formula, so again the same tag, x1. Let's mark the two fields. And now when I come to put the formula in, all I need to do is say the formula is equals multiply and then the tag value in brackets. So equals multiply x1, which means multiply together all the fields that have the tag x1. There we are. So now if I run this and I say the invoice amount is 200 and the discount percentage is 10, oh dear, it comes up with a discount amount of 2,000 because it's basically just multiplied together 200 and 10. If I'd have actually typed in here, instead of just 10, I typed in 10%, well that would have got it right because it can interpret this value 10% as being, 10% and therefore calculates the discount amount correctly. But if somebody forgets to type in the percentage or they're not quite sure what to do there, they could quite easily just type in 10 and it would calculate the value incorrectly. So what we need to do is to mark the field to say that this field here will always be a percentage. So interpret the amount that is put into that field as a percentage. And the way I do that is simply marking the tag. Instead of just a tag of x1, I put a what the Americans call a hash sign. In the UK we call that the hash sign. But this sign here before the x1. It would have been better really to put a percentage in there and say percent x1, but actually that causes certain technical problems within the app. So a hash sign is the one that we've chosen to use to mark the tag for a percentage field. So anyway, hash pound x1 marks that tag as being interpreted as a percentage. So now when I run it, I can say invoice amount 200, discount 10, discount amount gets calculated correctly as 20 because that discount percentage is now being interpreted as a percentage. So that's how to put in percentages or calculate values based on percentages in FormMaker. What I'll do now is I'll just extend this slightly just to show you how to calculate the total amount in this case based on the invoice amount and the discount amount. Obviously here it would be nice to have a net amount, which is invoice amount minus the discount amount. That would be kind of good. So you can do that quite easily. If you go into here, and what I'll do is I'll just take a clone of this field here. There we go. So that's just cloned it, and I can call this, let's call it net amount. And I want net amount to be the total. At the moment it's got this formula here, which is just cloned from the discount amount field. What I want it to be is the sum of the invoice amount and the discount amount. But I want the discount amount to be interpreted as a negative value. Now if you want to see how subtraction works, have a look at the subtraction video. But basically what I need to do is to mark the invoice amount with a second tag, because I want it to be used in another formula, in which case I'll just call it x2, separated with a semicolon. So we got x1 because it needs to go into that first formula to calculate the discount amount, but also I want it in another formula, so I just semicolon and another tag value of x2, and now I can use it in another formula. Discount amount, where you can see that this is the field that was calculated before, and I want to use this value in my net amount. So I would then say x2 as the tag for this field. But because I want this to be interpreted as a negative value, I just go minus x2 as the tag. Have a look at the subtraction video if you want to see more details about subtraction. But basically that's how to mark the field so it gets interpreted as tag x2, but negatively, because I just put that minus in there, hyphen. So now I've got two fields marked with x2, which is invoice amount and discount amount, and I've just marked the discount amount as being minus, so interpreted as negative. So now for net amount, all I really need to do is to say multiply x2. But, and that's good, that will work, kind of, but kind of not. Because what I need is the net amount to be calculated after the discount amount. Obviously, there's no way the system knows which one to calculate first, so it may well calculate the net amount before the discount amount, and therefore not include the correct discount amount, it will just take 0. So I need to mark it so that it does discount amount first, that formula first, and then the net amount formula. Now the discount amount formula is equals multiply x1. That's fine, I can leave that as it is, because if I don't mark it specifically with a precedence, an order, a sequence number, then it'll just run first. So that's fine as it is. But the net amount, because I want to run that after the other formula, I need to mark it with a precedence number. And I could put any value higher than 0 here. I could put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any value really higher than 0, as I say. But in this case I'll put 2 because I want it to run second. Because I may want another formula after this formula that runs once this has been calculated, in which case I would run it with a 3 in here to show that the precedence is third. So that just marks it so that it runs second. So now what it'll do, it'll run the formula for discount amount first, and once it's run the discount amount formula, it'll then run the net amount formula. So let's have a look at that and see if that works. So invoice amount 200, discount percentage 10, and in this case it's got it very wrong, hasn't it? Because what it's done is it's done 200 times 20 to create minus 4,000. And what I did wrong there was I used the wrong formula. Easy to do. Because I cloned that other field, I've just taken the multiply as being the formula, and actually it's not multiply I want to do at all. It's sum. I want to sum together those fields. I just want to add them together, don't I? Silly me. Anyway, here we go. So now, invoice amount 200, discount amount 10, works out the discount, discount percentage 10, it works out the discount amount is therefore 20, and therefore it knows that invoice amount minus 20, 200 minus 20 is 180, which is correct, and that's right. So that's how to string together two formulas, one after the other. In this case it was a multiplication using a percentage and then a summation using a negative. So it's got both of those features in there, and that's percentages using FormMaker.